Mass readings on the memorial of Saint Ignatius of Loyola, priest, 31st of July 2023. First reading. Moses turned and came down the mountain with the two tablets of the commandments in his hands, tablets that were written on both sides, front and back, tablets that were made by God, having inscriptions on them that were engraved by God Himself. Now, when Joshua heard the noise of the people shouting, he said to Moses, "That sounds like a battle in the camp." But Moses answered, "It does not sound like cries of victory, nor does it sound like cries of defeat. The sounds that I hear are cries of revelry." As he drew near the camp, he saw the calf and the dancing. With that, Moses' wrath flared up, so that he threw the tablets down and broke them on the base of the mountain. Taking the calf they had made, he fused it in the fire and then ground it down to powder, which he scattered on the water and made the children of Israel drink. Moses asked Aaron, "What did these people ever do to you that you should lead them into so grave a sin?" Aaron replied, "Let not my Lord be angry. You know well enough how prone the people are to evil." They said to me, "Make us a god to be our leader." As for the man Moses who brought us out of the land of Egypt, we do not know what has happened to him. So I told them, "Let anyone who has gold jewelry take it off." They gave it to me, and I threw it into the fire, and the skull came out. On the next day, Moses said to the people, "You have committed a grave sin. I will go up to the Lord, then perhaps I may be able to make atonement for your sin." So Moses went back to the Lord and said, "This people has indeed committed a grave sin in making a god of gold for themselves. If you would only forgive their sin, if you will not, then strike me out of the book that you have written." The Lord answered, "Him only who has sinned against me will I strike out of my book. Now go and lead the people to the place I have told you. My angel will go before you. When it is time for me to punish, I will punish them for their sin." The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Responsorial Psalm. Let your response be, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good." Our fathers made a calf in Horeb and adored a molten image. They exchanged their glory for the image of a grass-eating bullock. Response: Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. They forgot the God who had saved them, who had done great deeds in Egypt, wondrous deeds in the land of Ham, terrible things at the Red Sea. Response: Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. Then he spoke of exterminating them, but Moses, his chosen one, withstood him in the breach to turn back his destructive wrath. Response: Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. Alleluia, Alleluia. The Father willed to give us birth by the word of truth, that we may be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. Alleluia, Alleluia. Our Gospel reading is taken from the Gospel of St. Matthew, chapter 13, verses 31 to 35. Jesus proposed a parable to the crowds. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed that a person took and sowed in the field. It is the smallest of all the seeds, yet, when full grown, it is the largest of plants. It becomes a large bush, and the birds of the sky come and dwell in its branches. He spoke to them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman took and mixed with 3 measures of wet flour until the whole batch was leavened. All these things Jesus spoke to the crowds in parables. He spoke to them only in parables to fulfill what had been said through the prophet. I will open my mouth in parables. I will announce what has lain hidden from the foundation of the world. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Reflection in today's reading. The 2 parables Jesus speaks in today's Gospel reading are an image of his own ministry. His work in Galilee is like the mustard seed and the leaven. It is very small scale and to outsiders would have looked somewhat unpromising. Jesus has not been sweeping all before him. He has been going about his work quietly, without fanfare. Yet, the parable suggests that these small beginnings are the promise of something wonderful to come, just as the mustard seed becomes a tree where the birds of the air build their nest, and the tiny leaven has a huge impact on 3 measures of flour. Humble beginnings can have extraordinary outcome when the work in question is God's work. There is an encouragement to us all to keep doing the little bit of good we are able to do. It may not seem much in our own eyes or in the eyes of others, yet God can work powerfully through whatever little good we do in ways that will surprise us. We can all plant the equivalent of the mustard seed. We can all be the equivalent of the leaven. The little initiative, the small gesture, the offer of help can all bear fruit in ways that we could never have imagined at that time. The Lord can work powerfully through our smallest efforts if they are done out of love for Him. Our calling is often to plant some good seed and to trust that the Lord will do the rest. God bless.